John Kennedy had been called many things in his life: a fighter, survivor, son of Louisiana, but no one had ever dared call him a thug on the Senate floor. The moment the word left Maxine Waters' lips, the chamber went silent. A murmur rippled through the room like thunder rolling across an empty plain. Cameras zoomed in, pens froze mid-sentence, and every set of eyes locked on the man who now stood, calm yet burning inside. John didn't move right away. He just let the silence linger. That pause, those few measured seconds, wasn't weakness, it was power. Waters sat smugly in her chair, confident she had delivered the final blow in their heated exchange. But what she didn't know was that Kennedy's silence was not retreat. It was the quiet before the storm. Finally, John rose. His posture was straight, his chin slightly lifted, his voice steady. He didn't shout, he didn't sneer. Instead, he spoke with the calm strength of a man who had weathered storms far greater than insults. "Madam," he began, his Louisiana drawl carrying both charm and steel, "where I come from, a thug is someone who preys on the weak, a thug is someone who silences voices they don't agree with, and a thug is someone who believes tearing others down is the only way to lift themselves up. I am not that man, but I'll tell you who I am, a broken bar." The room leaned in, his words rolled out like a river gathering force. He spoke about growing up in a small Louisiana town, about working the fields with his father, about a mother who taught him that respect was something earned, not demanded. He painted a picture of neighbors helping neighbors, of hard lessons learned in the dirt and heat. "I've seen thugs in my life," he said firmly, "and they weren't men who argued passionately in defense of their country. They were men who thought cruelty was strength and that dignity could be stripped from others with a single word. If you think that's me, madam, then maybe you've forgotten what a thug really is." The chamber was silent again, but this time the weight was different. Waters shifted in her seat, her earlier confidence melting under the gaze of her colleagues and the cameras now fixed on her every reaction. Kennedy, meanwhile, pressed forward. He turned his words not just toward her, but toward the American people. "We sit in these chairs not to insult, not to belittle, but to serve. And service is not always clean. It's not always polite. Sometimes it means raising your voice. Sometimes it means standing firm when others push you to bend. But service is never, ever about name-calling. That weakens us all. And if we are weak, then the people who sent us here are weak." And I will note his voice cracked slightly, but with emotion, not anger. "I will not dishonor them by trading barbs like schoolchildren on a playground." His words landed with precision, cutting through the theatrics and leaving only the raw truth. Senators shifted uncomfortably in their chairs. A few nodded. Even some who often opposed Kennedy's politics couldn't deny the sincerity in his voice. He wasn't defending just himself, he was defending the institution, the people, and the very meaning of respect in public life. Waters tried to interject, but the momentum had shifted. The chamber wasn't with her anymore. Kennedy closed by looking directly into the cameras. "America deserves better than this. Better than cheap shots. Better than division. Better than labels. My promise to you," he said, pointing toward the lens as if speaking directly into every living room across the country, "is that I will fight for you with everything I have got, but I will never dishonor you by becoming the very thing I stand against." The applause began softly, just a few hands clapping in the chamber, but then it grew. The sound swelled until the chamber echoed with it. It wasn't just about Kennedy. It was about a rare moment of dignity in a place where bitterness often drowns out decency. Maxine Waters sat frozen, her words having backfired in spectacular fashion. The insult she had launched to weaken him had instead forged him into something stronger in front of millions watching live. When Kennedy finally sat back down, he didn't smile or gloat. He simply opened his notes and continued his work as if nothing had happened. But everyone in that room, and everyone who would watch the clip replayed across networks and social media, knew something had shifted. The inspiring message was clear: labels don't define you. Insults don't define you. How you rise above them does. And in that moment, John Kennedy showed America that character, dignity, and truth will always speak louder than hate.